Welcome to Fall Summit, a story-based podcast about tales, trails, and epic fails. I'm Octavia.
And I'm Em. For those of you just joining, we're going to bring you 2 stories and our thoughts on the tales, ending with Trail Mix, where I will bring you 3 songs, and then trail etiquette and other shit.
By me.
By you.
Yay.
Yay.
How you doing today, Em?
I'm doing wonderful.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm finally recovered from the aftermath of Audriana's birthday party.
Yes, me as well.
Yeah?
It was fun.
It was fun.
It was also a lot.
That's like a, not the right word. It was, banana pants.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It was crazy as expected. I mean, we knew that getting into it with 10-year-olds.
Just as a reminder, we had decided to celebrate Audriana's birthday by inviting 9 of her closest friends to a sleepover with all the excitement of that 9-year-olds can bring. Well, some are 9, some are 10.
And pain in the assery.
I'm pain in the assery, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm bored. I want my mom.
I'm hungry.
Victoria, why are you painting your own nails? You're 5.
Yeah, her little sister on her other side, on her dad's side of the family, also came, who's 5. And we were doing spa day. I decided we were going to do spa stuff. So we had this little gift bag of everybody got like a face mask and eye mask. And then we also did like nail polish, like get your nails did. And some of the girls were like, oh, we know how. And then some wanted me to paint them. Well, I didn't realize that Audriana's little sister, Victoria, decided that she could paint her own nails. She's 5. She cannot paint her own nails.
She did.
No.
She did a very good job for a 5-year-old.
She painted her whole fingers.
Yes. And I was confused as to why she did something wrong.
Yeah. Oh. She comes around the corner and she's like, look what I did. And I'm like, oh my God. I felt bad though, because she was like, what? I did good.
So sad.
I know. But
you made a 5-year-old.
I did not. She did not cry. She just pouted a little bit.
She needed consolation.
Yeah. I did feel a little bit bad about my initial reaction, but I think that was appropriate when you didn't realize that a 5-year-old got into nail polish and painted their whole finger.
Right. And then I sat there and I used the nail polish remover offer. What's it called?
Nail polish remover?
Oh, yeah. That.
Not nail polish remover offer. What the heck? We can tell you've never really done your nails before. Okay. Shocker.
And then, so I'm doing, removing the nail polish from her nails.
With the nail polish remover offer?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And she goes, ow, you're hurting me.
Oh, really?
And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. Where does it hurt? And she was like, oh, because I painted over my cut. I had a cut right here on my finger and I painted over it with the nail polish. And I was like, oh yeah. So that's going to hurt because nail polish and nail polish remover both have things in them that are going to make that hurt.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm so sorry, but we're going to have to just deal with it. And then you can run it under some cool water.
Aw, she was so brave.
Yeah.
Aw.
She was so brave.
I said, well, I think we did a really good job there. We had a karaoke machine going. You picked out these light up balloon things that, kind of like the necklaces that you can get that you like snap and they light up. Yeah. These are all balloons and they had like lights inside them.
The highlight though was the alien balloons.
The alien balloons. Yeah. They decided to take all the alien balloons and stick them in the clawfoot tub. I don't know why, but they were so excited about that.
Yeah. Normal.
It's normal. And then what else did we do? We had light up necklaces and all the balloons were in the living room. It was like a giant balloon.
Smorgasbord.
Sure.
Giant balloon smorgasbord that you don't eat.
Yeah. And then we did like homemade pizzas where they could like pick their toppings. And then I forgot half the toppings, but that was okay because I didn't want anything but cheese anyway. And that's the topping I did remember.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. And then I don't remember how this happened, but I think they were getting a little restless and some of the kids decided they wanted to draw. And I was like, okay, great. Let's have a drawing competition. But then with a drawing competition, you have to pick a winner. Then I felt bad if anyone didn't get picked.
Yeah.
So
And we
then
ended up doing like 8 rounds.
we ended up picking everybody as the winner eventually.
Yeah. And then, not to bring up Victoria again, but to bring up Victoria again, she comes up and she coats me on the back and she's holding her little drawing.
Yeah.
And it's, any 5-year old is going to have less of an art skill than
Well, yeah, it's fine.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Um, so she was like, why wasn't mine picked? And I was
Oh.
oh, I was like, we probably just didn't see yours. I was like, this is great. This is like Picasso who?
Yeah.
Um, and I was like, maybe go show Octavia. And I was like, Tave, look at this
Oh my
one.
gosh.
And you're like, wow, it's so nice.
Yeah.
This is my favorite.
I think I ended up like picking up all the drawings and going through each one and saying why I loved it.
Yeah.
Which was fine. I mean, there's the whole thing where everybody gets a trophy, you know what I mean? There's that whole like debate on whether all kids should get trophies or there should be clear winners, but I think I get a pass for a 10-year-old's birthday party.
Yeah, you get a pass, but I think there's in like that scenario, I think there should be clear winners.
Yeah.
Because I don't think everyone like I think that's part of life is
Yeah.
like there are gonna be people who excel at certain things more than you do.
Yeah. That's true.
And it might not be in every scenario. Like you might win another year, or you might win for something else or something like that. But I don't think everyone should get
Yeah.
something. Like if they're gonna do a participation award, great.
Yeah. Then but also you are the best at, I don't know, kicking the ball if it's soccer or something like
Yeah,
that.
do many categories if you need to. But
Yeah.
like
Shouldn't just be like, everybody's a winner.
yay.
No,
You're not
you're
actually.
not actually.
There's some
Yeah.
okay. Anyway,
But
we don't
then,
need to go to
yeah. But then we did the birthday singing part with the cake and stuff.
yeah.
What's that called? That I did that, right?
Cake singing.
Cake singing. I don't know. Anyway, so all the
The
kids
happy
were
birthday.
gathered around, and one of the girls was arriving late, and it was really sweet because we had got a message. I don't know, 5 minutes before we were about to sing happy birthday,
Uh-huh.
and she was a couple minutes down the road. So I told all the girls, this is the girl that has recently moved to another school district, which they're all really sad about. And they were really sweet. And they were like, no, we have to wait for her to get here so we could, sing happy birthday with her.
That's sweet.
Yeah, no, it was really sweet. And then I think my favorite part of the night was at the very end area where me and I think four of the girls decided to play the family edition of Cards Against Humanity.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I'm hoping everybody knows what Cards Against Humanity is by now. But for those of you who don't, it is a game where you each get a certain amount of cards. You hold them in your hand, and they're the ending to like a answer to a question, or like an ending to a sentence, or like a fill in the blank that you can use. And you pick one card. You pick a card from a different pile. You put that in the middle, and then everybody around the table has to decide what best fits that card. So if it's like, I don't know, what's an example?
When Shirley came in to the store, what is something she bought? No,
Yeah. And then,
when Shirley came into the store, she bought blank rolls.
right.
And then the response that I'm thinking of, my favorite card in all of Cards Against Humanity,
Uh-huh.
is bees.
Bees.
It just says bees in all caps with question mark.
Really?
Bees?
Bees?
Bees rolls.
Yeah, bees rolls.
Uh-huh.
You got
Yeah.
these bees rolls. Anyway.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of laughing. Um, And then four of the girls ended up not staying. Two of them we knew they weren't sleeping over because they're not ready for sleepovers yet, apparently. And then the other two left closer to, I don't know, 11 or 12, because they were a little homesick, which, at this age, I think is perfectly fine and perfectly normal. And, it is what it is.
Agreed.
But I think I didn't go to sleep until like 2 in the morning. And they didn't wake me up until I think I was the first one up. I got up at 8. They were still asleep.
Well, all in all, a success.
Yeah, all in all, a success. They all had a really good time, and now I'm finally recovered from all that. Anyway, do you have any thoughts on the craziness that's going on with like this shooting and the social media and all of that? It's just mind-boggling to me.
Yeah. I think that from the first time I heard Corey, my general manager, saying that this is a hottie patati, you could tell by his jawline
Funny.
from his taxi photo. I knew that this was something that was different than a lot of other cases.
Yeah.
I mean, he assassinated someone, and people
Yeah.
are highly focused on his looks and
Yeah.
his background, and have a lot of more sympathy for him than I would think other people.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I think that um, you know, the whole story is a little wild. I mean, the fact that he wrote on the bullets, on the casings, rather,
Right.
um, I mean, it really maligns to a mind that is not altogether well, but was he driven to it by circumstances that, you know, could have been avoided if the healthcare system was doing a better job. Yeah, I don't know. I think there's too much emphasis on how he looks 100% and not enough about, the issue and the fact that he, committed a crime. He murdered somebody.
I don't think there's enough about the healthcare system, and
Yeah.
it needs to be doing a better job.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're gonna take you out one by one. Just kidding.
Yeah.
But sorry, like if you do such a bad job and kill all these people and not give a shit in your day-to-day work.
Even if it's indirectly.
But thank God Trump is appointing,
Oh, yeah.
all these people to help us. It's going to
Yeah.
be really wonderful.
Like somebody whose main job is to be a TV personality. It seems like a good person to be overseeing health insurance for millions. So,
Sounds about right.
again, we shall see what happens in the next 4 years, but it doesn't look great. Anywho, just to bring you all down on the new year, we figured we would talk about all the bad things. Now, I think we should take our listeners on a little journey to bring their spirits up.
Story number 1 is called Snow, Wind, and Regret. And it was brought to us by an Instagram follower, Michael Keene. You can follow him on Instagram at gingerbread_Keene. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. We love your story and we can't wait to share it with everybody starting now.
Also, side note, going through our Instagram, our fallsummit.pod Instagram, you know how there's stories at the top of everyone?
Yeah.
Gingerbread Keen's stories are always really fun to look at.
Okay.
They're always like hiking in snowy locations. They're always doing winter hikes. Well, obviously, I mean, it's winter now, so that
For
might
us, yeah.
progress to some spring and
Yeah.
summer hikes after that. But they're always really nice shots and beautiful scenery and pine trees, and it's just really nice.
Aw, I love that. Thanks. Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome. Anyway, let's get into it. It was supposed to be a classic initiation into the world of backpacking, a weekend in the White Mountains of New Hampshire, a promising route, and a group of newfound friends. The plan was ambitious, but reasonable. Find the twins, follow the Appalachian Trail to Gio's shelter for the night, then bag the bonds, Zealand and Hale the next day, finishing with a bushwhack down a fire warden trail. But as anyone who ventures into the wild knows, the mountains have a way of rewriting plans. I'd met one of my companions only once before, at work of all places, and the other two were complete strangers. Perfect setup for a bonding experience, right? The forecast promised rain, but optimism and maybe a little naivety was high as we set off. We'll beat the worst of it, we said. Spoiler alert, we didn't. The climb up the twins was uneventful, save for a slow realization that our pace was, well, less than Olympic. As the trail steepened, so did the clouds. By the time we reached Gio's shelter, we were soaked through. But there it was, a sturdy roof, dry space, and room for all of us. We collapsed inside, peeling off wet layers and marveling at the storm outside. Rain turned to sleet, then to snow, and we fell asleep to the sound of wind whipping through the trees. Morning greeted us with a stark, frozen reality. The rain had transformed into a winter wonderland, but wonderland is a strong word when all your gear is frozen solid. My Keene shoes, lacking any insulation, were blocks of ice. We fired up our camp stoves, not for breakfast, but to thaw laces and footwear. My companions muttered curses as they pried open their gear. Yikes.
Yikes. It sounds cold.
It does sound miserable. I think that's a really smart way to actually thaw your shoelaces. I don't know if I would have thought of that.
Yeah, I think I probably would have thought of that. But I have an
I would just
uncanny
spit on
hack
it.
to, what would that do? You just hit it over the head like a mammoth, like a Neanderthal?
Yeah.
If it doesn't work, just hit it with something. It's fine.
Oh man. How would you have thought out your laces?
Well, I think that I probably would have done the same thing as these guys, although I I don't know, maybe I would have just slept in my dang shoes if it was that cold. I don't think I want to take them off. I've never really camped in winter climates, so maybe you have to take your shoes off. Maybe it's colder with your shoes on at that point.
Why didn't they just put them in the tent with them?
I'm assuming that it was like a shelter. I'm assuming they brought the shoes in with them into the shelter,
Yeah.
unless they didn't, and that's why they got frozen. Or it's just that cold that even if you're in a shelter, it doesn't matter.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think I would have done the same thing or not and just tied my shoes the best I can, frozen and all.
Yeah. I wouldn't have ended well for you, I don't think.
No. Also, I probably would have those little hand warmy things
Mm-hmm.
or feet warmy things because I love those hand and feet warmy things. And so then in that case, if I had those, I would put them in the shoes and then stuff the shoelaces all the way down. You know how you can like kind of fold them in
Uh-huh.
and hope that that would work. But I don't know. Maybe their way is the most efficient.
Yeah, but also if they're frozen, then they must be getting, when it melts, there must be some moisture,
Yeah.
which,
Oh, you don't want in your shoes. That's true. Or maybe just kind of like cramp them on. No, I think that what they did is probably the best option.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I think they did a good job. But also, that sounds awful trying to hike in those conditions with the rain and the freezing cold temperatures.
I agree. The bonds? Forget it. The condition screamed, turn back, louder than the howling wind. We adjusted our route, opting to retrace our steps back towards Zealand instead. Leaving the shelter meant facing Mount Gio, an open expanse with no cover for nearly half a mile. It was here that the mountains decided to show us who was boss. The wind hit like a freight train. Two of us lost the rain flies from our packs almost immediately, the bright fabric disappearing into the void. The rest of us dropped to our hands and knees, crawling across the ice-slick trail. I managed to lose a microspike in the chaos, which seemed less like a misstep and more like a sacrifice to the mountain. By some miracle, we made it to Zealand. The AMC hut loomed like a beacon of salvation, promising shelter and hopefully a way out. We decided to skip Hale and focus on finding a ride back to the trailhead. Luck smiled on us in the form of a young couple, the last car in the parking lot, who graciously agreed to cram four bedraggled hikers into their back seat. Oh my gosh. They must have been so desperate after that ordeal. I feel like if I had been in the same situation, I would have been so desperate to get out of it that, like, what else could go wrong? You know,
Yeah,
that mindset. Like, what else? This
this
has
is it.
already happened.
Yeah.
What else could go wrong?
Yeah, those are the famous last words of anybody, though. Whenever you say what else could go wrong, you know that there's something else that's probably going to go wrong.
Right.
Like, I don't know, the how the road conditions, was there any snow that maybe they'll slide off the road, the car is going to break down when they get to their car at the trailhead. Maybe that's frozen over. You know how, like, when it's really, really cold
Mhm.
and you can't even put the key in the,
Ignition.
oh, well, I guess cars don't
Oh,
have,
not in the ignition.
no, like in the door.
Yeah.
But a lot of cars don't have that anymore.
Right. But a lot of people don't have new vehicles.
Oh, that's true. So anybody who has like a key entry vehicle that could possibly happen.
Right.
And why would you bring that spray stuff? They'll have to get their their camping fire things. What are those things called?
I think it's called a camping stove.
Yes. Thank you. My words have left my brain. Camping stove. They'll have to bring that out again. And then they can use that to thaw the car. I don't know. These are just things that I'm just making up in my head. I have no idea. But I do know that whenever you say, what else could go wrong, that there's something that could go wrong.
Let's find out.
Yeah, let's do.
The ride down the mountain was mercifully uneventful, at least until we reached the trailhead. Our designated driver, the one tasked with delivering us to civilization, suddenly froze. I can't find my keys, he muttered, his voice tinged with panic. What followed was a 20-minute spectacle of chaos. Gear emptied onto the ground, damp clothing flung into the air, and increasingly frantic searches through pockets and pouches. It was almost comedic, though none of us were laughing. Not yet, anyway. Finally, he fished the keys out of his pocket, offering an embarrassed shrug that earned a round of exhausted groans. We packed in and made our escape away from the frozen abyss. The next day, as I scrolled through weather reports, I learned that wind gusts on Mount Washington, just northeast of where we had crawled across Gio, had reached 120 miles per hour that morning. Yikes.
Yikes.
The wilderness we had traversed acted as a funnel, channeling the fury directly at us. It was terrifying, ridiculous, and oddly exhilarating. And despite the setbacks, or maybe because of them, I was hooked. The mountains had tested me, humbled me, and left me craving more. 8 years later, I'm still out there, chasing trails and testing myself against the whims of the wild. That first trip wasn't perfect, but it was unforgettable. And isn't that the point of adventure?
Amen. That is the point of adventure.
Yeah, that's amazing. I've never really had that experience where, because he said that he was hooked after a situation like that.
Yeah.
Never really been in a situation that has hooked me in that way.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, you have your hobbies,
Yeah,
but I
I mean,
haven't had like a harrowing situation
right.
happen.
Where it's like tested you physically, mentally.
Yeah. Then I was like, I'm gonna do that again. Well, I mean, I guess so. Um, I'm a big snowboarder,
Hmm.
and I've gone back and forth. Like, there'll be years when I don't go because of life. But I've gotten into some sticky situations where some people would be like, no, I'm not doing that again. Um, one time my best friend and I went up to, I forget what mountain it was. It was up north of us, like way north, big mountain. So I went with her and her family, and we were on a snowboarding trip. So we were staying at the mountain. We were snowboarding during the day and doing whatever. But one of the nights they were offering night skiing or night snowboarding.
Hmm.
And her and I were both snowboarders. We were, I don't know, mid-teens. So I had been snowboarding since I was like 10 or 12. And we were probably like 15 by this point. So not terrible at it, but also like not experts by any standard. So we were like, yes, this sounds great. Night skiing, all the lights are on the mountain, beautiful. They have snow blowing or whatever, and they're making snow. So we go up on the chairlift, and we don't know this mountain as well as we know the mountains like by us
Hmm.
that we would normally go to.
Wait, snow, like the white stuff,
Yeah, that's that stuff.
but it was artificial.
Well, I mean, they had real snow, but they also make snow.
How do you,
All
how do you make snow?
snow machines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that sounds like a lot of fun, actually. I've been night skiing before.
Oh, you have?
My dad took me one time. It was a lot of fun.
I bet it wasn't as stupidly crazy as what happened to us.
What happened?
So we take the chairlift up. We don't know this mountain very well, so we don't know what all where all the different trails lead to. And this was before cell phones had things like you could look it up on a map. You know, you'd have to like go and look at it on the map on the building.
That sounds awful. Who does that?
So we thought we were going on one trail. You're ridiculous. We thought we were going on one trail. I think we knew it was going to be a black diamond trail, but like a flat black diamond trail.
Do
No,
those exist?
flat like a Okay, so here we go. You ready? Do you think I mean flat as in not hilly? I mean flat as in not moguls.
What are moguls?
Moguls are giant bumps that they create in the snow for skiers.
Oh,
And you have to swish, swish, swish between them.
I've never
They
done that.
they are not for snowboarders.
I've never done
They are not made for snowboards. I mean, some people do go down them and they're fine, but they're not technically made for snowboards.
that. Just a guess.
Yeah.
There were moguls in the trail that you guys
Oh,
picked.
there were giant moguls. Some parts were icy. There was snow was blowing on that part of the trail. It was completely lit up. We were on a double diamond. First of all, it wasn't just one diamond. Ended up being two diamonds. We were on a double black diamond on moguls at night with the snow blowing. We literally ended up going down on our butts the whole way. We couldn't. There was even walking would have been like sketchy.
That's scary.
Yeah, it was really scary.
And you survived.
Yeah,
You're lucky.
and we snowboard the rest of the season, and I still love it. And we're teaching Adriana how to do it now. So
Didn't deter you
You know.
from your dream.
my dreams of being a snowboarder. So yes, I can understand getting hooked on something from even when you have experiences that are maybe a little bit harder.
Yeah. I agree with that. I just never had an experience where I've been hooked because of that event.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
But I like the story. It
Yeah.
was really nice.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks for the really awesome, inspiring story. I'm not a big fan of hiking in the cold or hot. I'm just kidding. I'm glad that you found something that you enjoy doing.
Me too.
All right, are you ready for story number 2?
I'm so ready. I am so ready for story number 2. I can't even contain myself
Can't even contain yourself.
with the level of excitement that I have
I'm so excited
for you,
for me.
for me,
Thank you.
for you, for me,
Okay.
for us.
Story number 2, The Stranger. Mia adjusted her pack and took in the sweeping views of New Zealand's wild rolling hills. The trail stretched out like an endless ribbon of opportunity, but her mind was firmly fixed on the present. The night before, at the shelter, she had met him, the stranger.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun dun dun. At first, it had been subtle. Compliments on her legs, disarming and strange. Too nice to be scratched up like that. He must have been referring to the gorse thickets she'd plowed through earlier. His gaze lingered too long. His questions about her itinerary too specific. She kept her answers vague, her instincts warning her like a sharp gust of wind before a storm. That seems like an uncomfortable situation. How do you think she's handling?
Just the way she should be, with lots of apprehension. And yeah, she has this gut feeling that he's creepy and up to no good. And even if she's wrong about that and he's harmless, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Trust your gut instinct.
Yeah. Always
You're better off.
the side of caution, I feel.
Yeah, why are you commenting on her legs?
Yeah, that's weird.
Why are you commenting
Yeah.
on her legs?
Wow, that's creepy.
Leave her alone.
Yeah, go away. Mia's departure that morning had been tactical, a silent, calculated exit before anyone else stirred. She slipped out like a ghost, the weight of her pack balanced perfectly for her light, deliberate steps. She felt free again, the trail hers alone, for a while. Hours later, with the rhythm of her music in her ears and her boots crunching softly against the dirt, Mia felt it. A vibration, more sense than heard. Rapid footsteps. She turned, and there he was, the stranger.
That's so creepy. I'm sorry.
That's
Like
very creepy.
that the way that first of all the storytelling, like you can feel it perfectly, like the
Yeah.
rapid footsteps. Why are you rapidly approaching at all? If you're approaching, why are you not doing it slowly? Why are
Yeah.
you rapidly approaching?
Yeah, why are you rapidly approaching? I don't know. I've had those senses of something's behind you. Have you ever experienced
Yeah,
that
for
where you
sure.
just know that something ominous is close?
Yeah. I
Or
think it's
like,
an energy.
yeah, I mean, maybe you don't know if it might be ominous or not, but just like an energy like coming toward you. I feel like you definitely can feel those types of things for sure.
Absolutely.
Sweat darkened his shirt. His breath labored from what had clearly been a long, determined run. You're quick, aren't you? He said, smiling with a familiarity that made her stomach tighten. Mia returned the smile, polite but guarded, and slowed her pace. He overtook her easily, his legs powering up the trail before stopping ahead, forcing her to pass him. Again and again, this pattern repeated, a grotesque game of leapfrog. His glances back felt like hooks snagging her resolve. Her voice was firm when she finally said, Hey, I need to stop for a bit. You go ahead. Why is she engaging with him more?
I think it's honestly just a survival tactic at this point. I mean, she's a woman. She's alone with this guy that's making her very uncomfortable. And in order to make it out of the situation alive,
Yeah,
she has to appease him,
yeah,
which is disgusting.
yeah. No, that's really
It's creepy, it's icky.
it's icky.
It's why? Like, why can't she just feel like it would, in a perfect world, a woman can say to a man and set a boundary,
Yeah,
and I feel uncomfortable right now, or I would prefer walking alone, thank you, without having to fear retaliation of some sort.
I agree, and it's really sad that that is something that she has to fear because she's just out there trying to enjoy nature and do something that she loves, and she has to
Now deal with this.
now deal with this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, he hesitated, but eventually obliged. His pace quickened out of sight. The second he disappeared around the bend, Mia darted off the trail. She plunged into the dense forest, a heavy scent of pine mingling with her rising panic. Branches clawed at her arms as she crouched low, her heart hammering in her chest. She waited. Her breath caught as she saw him reappear, his figure cutting a deliberate line back along the trail. He paused, scanning the area, and her pulse thundered as his gaze swept the forest, searching. Don't see me. Don't see me. Finally, he moved on, his steps slower this time, as if savoring his search. Mia didn't wait long. She slipped back onto the trail, her body coiled and ready to spring, and began to jog, a delicate balance between speed and stealth. The hours stretched into eternity. She powered through winding paths, her body pushing to its limits, her mind laser focused on the task of putting as much distance as possible between her and the stranger. When she reached a crossroads, she skipped the shelter she had planned to stop at, ignoring the ache in her legs and blisters forming on her feet. She found a small She found a small clearing further up the trail, out of sight, and pitched her tent with shaking hands. Mia did not sign the logbook at the next shelter. She wanted no breadcrumbs leading him to her. But she stopped a couple of hikers heading the opposite direction and asked them to relay a message to her friends if they crossed paths. Don't tell him anything, she added firmly. As she lay in her tent that night, the forest alive with nocturnal creatures, Mia replayed the day in her mind. Was the stranger just lonely, or was there something darker behind his persistence? She didn't know, and she didn't care. She trusted her instincts and survived. The trail, for all its beauty and danger, had tested her resolve in ways she hadn't anticipated. And though Mia's adventure would continue, she knew she'd never forget the day she outmaneuvered the stranger. Yes.
Yeah.
She followed her instincts. She didn't care about looking like a little weirdo jumping in the forest and then running back. And she tried to help her friends that might run into this stranger.
Oh, that's interesting. That's not how I interpreted it.
Well, I mean, I think it's like a dual thing. I think it could be both what you're thinking, what I'm thinking.
What am I thinking?
You're thinking that she wanted to warn her friend so that he couldn't find her, right?
No.
Oh, go ahead. What do you think?
But that is also a possibility. I guess there's so many
There's so
different,
many possibilities.
so many scenarios here. No, I was thinking in my head that she was telling these people and relaying a message to her friends in case something happened to her. Like in case he did catch
Oh.
up to her and find her, like this is where I was, this is what
Oh,
happened,
yeah.
this is who saw me last.
Okay, so and I was thinking that she wanted to relay the message to her friends so that they either, if they ran into him, would be wary that he's a little creepy,
Yeah.
and also to make sure that they didn't give him any information about her or her whereabouts.
Yeah, that was also probably on her mind also. So
Yeah. I think
those
all those things.
things could be true at once.
Yeah, I agree.
But I do think it was really smart that she didn't sign the logbook.
You do think that it was. Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I think any breadcrumbs, air quotes, um, should not be left for
Right.
this little creepy stranger guy
I mean,
to follow.
because it kind of affirmed it. Like before, you know, you could have just thought what she was thinking in the tent was maybe he was just lonely, maybe
Yeah.
he was this, maybe he was that, making all these excuses for him. But the fact that she said that she had to stop and told him to go keep on
Yeah.
going. I don't like do your thing. Like I don't
Yeah.
need you right now. You don't need me. And the fact that she had just bolted into the
Yeah.
woods
Like
and then
we're not friends.
no, but she like bolted into the woods and then it didn't sound like much longer later he had
No.
doubled back
No, the fact that he came back
and was looking
looking for her
is weird.
that is scary.
That's sketch.
My
like why are
stomach
you looking in the woods? Like
my
why
stomach would be in my boots.
yeah. Like okay, like you wanted to see if she's not there. She's not there.
Yeah.
Why are you scanning the woods? It's
That's
creepy.
really scary.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I'm glad she made it.
I'm glad she made it. I'm glad she sent a warning out to her friends.
But
I
how
don't
many other
know.
people has this guy terrorized now?
I mean, okay, going back to the beginning of the story, it all started with him making rude comments about her physical appearance.
Yeah.
Not warranted. Nobody asked you.
Nobody asked you.
Like, go away. And then asking her a million questions about like where she was going and
what time
and all that stuff. Like, no, get out of here. You're being a creepy creeper and you need to stop creeping.
Did she say her name though?
Who?
Did she tell the guy her name?
She didn't put in the story that she told him her name.
But I feel like she must have.
Oh, she must have, yeah.
If
in
she
the
didn't
beginning.
want to,
yeah.
If that's why she didn't want to write in the logbook,
Yeah.
otherwise he wouldn't have known.
I would say in the beginning she was, "Hi, my name is Mia. You know, like how you doing? My name is the stranger."
Yeah.
You know, not knowing to keep that information
to herself.
To herself, yeah. Like who would think that right off the bat? Anyway, I'm glad that she was able to really, I mean, follow her instincts. That's the moral of this story: is follow your instincts.
I think we should all have a pseudonym at the ready.
What's it
for situations like that?
What's yours?
I don't know. I'd have to think about some kind of gender neutral pseudonym.
Okay.
The
Tank.
That's more like a trail name. And I don't want that as my trail name. Why would it be the tank?
I don't know.
The fuck?
Bookworm would be your trail name.
A bookworm.
Yeah.
Great.
I
What would yours be?
don't know.
Toxalata. Hi. What's your name? I'm Mark. What's your name? Toxalata.
All right, bookworm. On to the next segment.
Trail mix.
Trail mix.
All right. So to kick things off on Trail Mix, Icarus is a song by White Hinterlands, and it isn't just a song about falling. It's about what draws us upward in the first place. The way the sun catches the edges of the horizon, the way a smile lingers longer than it should, or the way someone's presence can feel like a trail you've always been meant to follow. It's the ache of reaching for something you can't quite touch, but also the quiet wonder of trying anyway. Number 2, Violet Hill by Coldplay. I think I've already said this, but Coldplay was the first concert I ever went to.
Oh,
My dad brought me and my 2 neighbors across the street. It was really fun. And you know their song Yellow, it's like one of the most,
yeah.
and it was all yellow. They had these sorry. They had these large like yellow balloons,
Mhm.
but like not balloons. They were like inflatable balls, like beach balls, but like
Oh,
20
fun.
times, like
Oh,
huge.
that's
And
crazy.
people were like doing this with them
Oh,
as
I do like Coldplay. I like a Coldplay moment.
yeah. And they have really great stuff.
I
Like
think so.
I don't think they've like he keeps coming out with great stuff.
Okay. Don't
Anyway,
want your bad self.
Violet Hill. It unfolds like a forgotten photograph, edges frayed, its colors faded, yet striking. It's a song that doesn't just ask you to listen, but invites you to feel the chill of a gray sky pressing low over a windswept hillside. There's a heaviness to it, a quiet storm that mirrors the landscapes we pass through, places both stark and stirring, where beauty is shadowed by its own sharp edges. Listening to Violet Hill is like hiking a path you know will end in rain. The drums are thunder in the distance, the piano, the gentle patter of drops before the downpour. It captures a moment in time when the air feels charged, a storm brewing just beyond the horizon, and you keep walking not to escape it, but to meet it head on.
I love it.
Next is Do You Think About Me by Nudes.
Nudes.
Nudes. This one's a really fun song. I discovered this one a couple years back. It's got this electronic beat to it that's really hypnotizing, and that's what really initially struck me. And it's kind of repetitive in its lyrics, but that's fine. Like some songs you get really annoyed by that,
Yeah, I
or
get
I do
that.
at least. But it's if you do it well, it can be acceptable.
I agree.
So Do You Think About Me pulses like sunlight flickering through the trees as you move down a winding trail, playful, restless, and unrelenting. It's a song with a heartbeat, a rhythm that feels like footsteps pounding against the dirt, carrying you forward with a mix of purpose and abandon. The track feels alive with questions, its energy a mirror to those moments when the mind drifts and loops, replaying the same thought over and over. Out on the trail, the quiet amplifies everything, and even the simplest questions, do you think about me, can grow as loud as the rush of a river or the call of a distant bird. So that's what I've got for you for
Oh,
today.
thank you. I'm excited to hear all those songs on your big master list.
Can't wait to share.
Whoop whoop.
On to trail etiquette.
And other shit.
Bye.
Always brought to you by me,
Correct.
Octavia.
Oh,
Nice to
good.
meet you.
You're welcome.
How are you?
I'm good. My
How's it
name's
going?
Green.
All right, trail etiquette and other shit.
Yep.
Winter hiking. What you need to know. I thought that this was fitting for an accompaniment to our first story, which was all about snow and ice and wind and cold weather.
Cold weather.
What do you know about cold weather hiking?
Not a whole lot. I have not done a lot of cold weather. I mean, like I've done cold weather hikes, but not like
Snow
icy
and
or
ice,
snow
yeah.
conditions.
I know very little as well. Mom segment. My mother does like winter hiking, and now she is into biking with a fat tire bike on trails on like mountain bike trails in the winter. at night.
Wild.
She's a crazy person.
Yeah, she's
She's in her 60s and she is more adventurous than most people are at
go
any
on with your
age.
bad self.
Yeah, so I'm saying I want to be here when I grow up.
With any luck, you shall.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, what is winter hiking? Winter hiking varies greatly depending on location. In some places, it's a simple hiking in colder weather with little or no snow, whereas hiking in conditions where temperatures are below 40 degrees Fahrenheit and trails are covered in snow and ice. Research your region to understand its weather conditions. In areas like New England, winter hiking may involve snow, ice, and frigid temperatures as early as October and as late as June. Did you know that?
No,
I did not know that either. We're in New York, and by June, it's definitely not snow, ice, and frigid temperatures. October used to be,
not so much
not so
anymore.
much anymore. I would say fall temperatures like in the 60s. We had a warm spell in October. It was definitely reached the 70s. Um, but global warming, everything's changing, and
Global warming doesn't exist.
yeah, right. Anyone who really thinks that is dumb. It needs to get the brain checked and know what science is.
What is science?
What is science? That is the question.
Bill Nye, the science guy.
But we're trying to answer the question of winter hiking.
Right.
So,
So can you go hiking in the winter?
can you go hiking in the winter? Absolutely. Winter hiking is a favorite for several reasons. Quieter trails, fewer hikers mean more solitude. Stunning views, snow covered landscapes are breathtaking. Softer trails. Deep snow can transform rugged paths into smooth trails, making descents easier on your joints. Cooler weather. Cold motivates more than heat, making for faster, more comfortable hikes. With the right preparation and gear, your favorite summer trails can offer fresh adventures in the winter. However, check trail conditions for road closures that could block access to trailheads. Is winter hiking dangerous?
Yes.
Yes. I think there are risks in all hiking if you're not prepared.
Yeah.
But winter hiking is inherently riskier than summer hiking. But preparation can mitigate these dangers. Fewer hikers. Help may be scarce if needed. Shorter days. Darkness comes earlier. Plan your hike accordingly. Trail hazards. Snow and ice obscure paths, blazes, and signposts, increasing risks of getting lost or falling. Avalanches. Know the terrain and avalanche risks. Cold temperatures. Hypothermia and frostbite are real dangers. Dress appropriately. Now we're going to talk about some essential gear that you should bring when you're hiking. Here are 10 essentials that you can add to your hiking list. Traction, micro spikes, crampons, or snowshoes for icy and snowy trails. Gaiters, keep snow out of your boots and your lower legs warm. Insulating layers. Proper layering is crucial for regulating body temperature. Emergency blanket or bivy. Lightweight, heat reflective shelter for unexpected emergencies. Thermos. Optional but comforting, a hot drink can warm you up on the trail. Now, staying warm in winter. There are two keys. Pack the right layers, use layers strategically as your activity level and your environment change. So, like if you are wearing several layers and you start to sweat, you want to strip all your layers off, but make sure that you are strategic about it and remove one or two rather than going like straight down to like your last layer on your skin or
So does that mean when you're hiking that you should be taking off your layers strategically and not stripping down directly to your skivvies?
yeah. Yes, you should not ever strip down to your skivvies in the snow and ice on a trail. Don't ever strip down to your skivvies on a trail. That should just be a rule.
Oh,
Yeah. Never strip down to your skivvies on a trail.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, I'm gonna make that a t-shirt.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, now I know,
Thanks.
and I won't be doing that again.
Yeah, don't do that. That would be bad.
Again.
Yeah, again. I missed that. Yeah, you want to, you get warm when you're hiking and it's cold out. So you want to make sure that you're taking off just the right amount of layers and not too many. Also, you want to be able to take layers off so that you don't sweat too much. Because when you sweat too much, then your sweat will absorb into your clothes. And then when
Make
your
it stinky.
body, well, no, that's just you.
Oh.
But you don't want it to soak into your clothes because then when you start to cool down, your clothes will then be damp,
Right.
which will then give your body a chill, which then you are in risk of hypothermia. Hypothermia are in risk of hypothermia.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Cool. Thanks.
Yeah. Now, this is exactly what I was talking about. When you begin your hike, you want to be slightly underdressed. You'll warm up quickly and avoid sweating, which can then freeze and chill you. That is a tip, a layering tip. All right.
Give me those tips and tricks.
I will give you all them tips and tricks and other shits. Adjust with terrain. Add layers before exposing. Okay. Add layers before exposed sections like tree lines or windy ridges. Summit smart. Stop and layer up before reaching the summit to trap warmth. Descend gradually. Remove layers incrementally as your body cools during descents. Now, you should also have the proper footwear for hiking in the snow and ice. Waterproof footwear is a must. Wet feet become cold fast.
That always happens to me.
What?
That's like the first part of my body to always get cold are my
your
toes.
little toesies?
Yeah. And then I cannot get them warm again.
Yeah, that's a real risk of frostbite and or blisters. So, what you want to do is consider insulated boots. High boots offer warmth and protection. Merino wool socks insulate even when damp. So those are really good gear to stock up on, especially the socks part and
We
the
got some
waterproof
for
part.
Christmas.
My mom typically gives socks for Christmas, but I didn't get socks from her this year. I think you gave me socks this year.
Yeah, I gave you some.
And your mom gave us socks this year too.
She did?
I think so. I got socks from somebody.
I gave you socks in your stocking.
Yeah. Or maybe it was just you and I.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
She usually does too, so maybe she did.
Yeah.
I don't remember it.
No. Well, whether or not you have merino wool socks, any warm sock will work, but merino wool is a really great choice. If you choose not to use non-insulated boots, consider an even thicker sock and test your footwear by going on a cold walk that's not too far from your vehicle or your house, just to kind of test how fast your feet will get cold and see if you need to make any changes before like heading out on like a big trek.
That's smart.
Yeah.
I just think I don't layer properly.
I don't think you layer properly, and I don't think you use isolated boots.
And I don't use the right socks.
No.
Because I hate wool socks.
Yeah, but merino wool's not wool.
I know.
Not itchy.
But I have this thing where my feet are really sensitive, and I don't like anything tight against them. And wool socks tend to be tight on me.
Now, some of you might be wondering if you need snowshoes.
Do you?
Not necessarily. On well-traveled trails, probably not. Packed down monorails eliminate the need for snowshoes. However, snowshoes are helpful after heavy snowfall or on less traveled or off-trail routes.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Regardless, traction like microspikes is essential. They're affordable, easy to use, and dramatically improve safety on icy trails. Some final thoughts?
Yeah.
Winter hiking can be magical, but it requires respect for its challenges. With the right preparation, gear, and mindset, it can transform familiar trails into breathtaking new experiences. Embrace the cold, and you'll find the winter hiking offers rewards unmatched by any other season. Do you think you're gonna want to go for a winter wonderland hike soon?
I liked the one we went on that time when it unexpectedly started snowing.
Oh yeah,
That was pretty.
it was pretty.
I did not enjoy certain aspects of it, like when you fell through the ice,
Oh no. Or the
or
creaking woods.
the
Oh my God, it was
creaking
so
woods. That
creepy.
was, yeah.
Have you posted that video on our Instagram yet of Orion in the creaky woods?
No, only on TikTok.
You should put it on our Instagrams and we can pair it with this episode because that was a really crazy experience.
Yeah.
Creaky woods. It was the wind was howling. It was flurry snowing. It was coming down pretty hard at that point.
Yeah.
And then we went from a fielded area to like tall, were those pine trees? There's some kind of spruce esque piney thing.
Yeah, some conifer of some kind.
Yeah, conifer. Oh, so smart. Um,
They don't call me bookworm for nothing.
oh, sorry, bookworm.
Yes.
Yes.
Talks a lot. Yes.
You're so stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway, but the wind, so the tall trees, no, almost no branches, and all you see is like the piney stuff up above you, like a canopy.
Mhm.
And they were all very thin, and you can just see them swaying back and forth, and you can hear the
Yeah. And it was the wind was going.
the wind was going. I was terrified that a tree was going to literally crash on my head. I think Orion was with us, and we had only had him for a couple weeks at that point.
Yeah.
He was like new to us, and he was a little freaked out too, I think. But anyway, what do you think of our episode?
The first one I really liked. The first story I really liked, mostly because I like the sound of my own voice. Second story I liked less because I wasn't reading it. I think I'm like, if I have a sexual attraction,
It would
like,
be to your own voice.
yeah, there's
Yeah.
got to be a thing where like,
Oh, it's some type of diagnosis. You should probably be on medication or in an insane asylum. I'm not sure which one.
no. I'm
And
just,
you need to
it's just called
institutionalize.
narcissism.
Narcissism institutionalized your ass tomorrow.
Institutionalized for narcissism.
Yeah.
More people should be, honestly.
Yeah.
No, in all seriousness, I like the first story. I really appreciate that Gingerbread Keene sent that in to us.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really well told, and well written, and lots of material for us to go off of, which was great. I'm glad they made it out. Glad that they got home safely, and that the winter didn't, suck them into its wintry portal
Yeah.
of winterness. And then, they live with the Ice King up on the mountain.
Right. The Ice King.
From Adventure Time.
And I was with you. I'm with you the whole time.
Great.
And I'm glad that Mia made it out alive and was smart as smart can be.
Me too.
With
Except
the stranger.
I hope the stranger's not listening to our podcast.
He doesn't know who he is. And if he does, what are you going to do? I'm not going on a trail where you're going to be near me. So get out of here. I don't think so. No, thank you. Anyway. So those are your final thoughts. We have some links to our show notes, as always. And if you want some more stories from us, you can visit us at our Patreon and become a Patreon subscriber.
Please do.
Please do, where we have lots of mini episodes, shorter story episodes where we compile, sometimes 3, sometimes 6, depending on the length. And M does their extended trail mix every other week.
Yes, so take a listen.
Take a look-see.
Take a look-see-loo.
Take a listen, take a look-see.
Yeah. And don't fall off a cliff.
Which reminds me, in our merch store, we have Don't Fall Off a Cliff sweatshirts now available. And they are very cute. We ordered a couple. They are soft and cozy. And it's my new favorite sweatshirt. And the logo is it says "Don't fall off a cliff" with a picture of a cliff, and underneath it has our fall summit, tales, trails, and epic fails, and like little writing. It's very cute. I love it.
Cute.
I hope you all will love it too. And I'll probably end up turning that also into like mugs or whatever, but it's a fun one. So please go and take a look at all of our merch. You can get sneakers, you can get mugs, you can get mouse pad stickers. Did I say sneakers? Yes, you can get sneakers with our logo all over them.
Yeah.
Sweatpants.
And they're the good kind of sneakers that don't squeakers.
They're not squeaker sneakers.
No.
They're anti-squeaker sneakers.
Yeah, they're anti-squeaker sneakers.
Yes. Sweatpants, t-shirts, tank tops, muscle tanks, kids' shirts.
Why'd you say muscle tanks like that?
Because you gotta say muscle tanks like that. How else would you say muscle tanks?
Like muscle tanks.
What's the difference?
Muscle tanks.
Yes, look at some muscle tanks.
Yes. Gotta be ripped.
Anyway, please go visit our merch store.
Please.
Support us in that way. We would love it. Well, I guess that's it from us crazy people here at Fall Summit.
Where every mountain is just one more almost there.
And if you enjoyed today's episode, please rate, review, and subscribe. It means a lot to us. We love it. We like to hear from you also.
And if you didn't enjoy it, well,
that's your epic fail for the week.
Yep. And hey, if you've got any questions, stories, or trail fails of your own, hit us up. Email us at fallsummit.pod@gmail.com or fallsummit.pod on Instagram. We'll be back next week with more tales of misadventures and questionable decisions. Until then, happy trails. And remember, if it feels like you've reached the top, you probably haven't. See you out there!